Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
So the Horvat deal, what did that signal to you when Lou made that move?
Well, I mean, it signaled a desperation, so I like the deal, but it is a desperate move. You know, this is a team that needs to get into playoffs. They just got that new barn. They want to hold playoff games like that, you know, and they're older. It doesn't do them any good to plan to be okay now and plan to be okay down the road. So, you know, there's some desperation there for sure, but Lou likes pros. And Bo Horvat's a pro, right? He's worn the C in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's a guy who checks a lot of boxes for them. He finishes, in a team that can't finish. He's good on the power play in a team that isn't good on the power play. He's a guaranteed player they're going to have in their lineup for years to come, whereas Atu Ratu is, 15th overall pick. Those guys miss sometimes, whatever that pick ends up being. I'm not saying they didn't give up anything, but I understand it from an perspective.
Well, they didn't give up anything. But I saw Horvat with Vancouver come through Sunrise, Florida. I'm like, this guy's a stud, man. But the pilot light was out in his eyes. He was done with Vancouver. There was no doubt. So I'm sure he's excited.
Yeah.
The Islanders were excited. That part works good.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The word we're getting today is that Trevor Harris, who's been in Montreal the last couple of years as quarterback, is going to come to Saskatchewan for over $1 million over 2 years. And he's now recruiting potential free agents. So that told me, yeah, he's coming. And not too many people saw this coming.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside Ballers Rec Room. It's our home for the RP Show. It's our YQR headquarters. It's your favorite daytime sports talk show, and we are on the air. Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and WQEE Radio. I want to say hey to all the Winnipeggers that have checked in. Trevor Red Ranger writing it on YouTube. He's all excited that the Blue Bombers have signed Kenny Lawler. So it's that time of year where, man, it goes fast, man. We're in a 24-hour news cycle in the sports world right now, and the news cycle overall. I'm just going to tell you, map out the show. In moments, you're going to see our good friend, the Silver Fox, Kelly Remple. He's right here at Ballers Rec Room because the Moose is not. He's got other duties. Kelly, good enough to come down and talk sports with us today. Canada's foremost NFL insider, Jim Lang, will be with us in Hour 1. In Hour 2, our Director of Scouting, Craig Smith, two-time Grey Cup champion. Smitty's going to be here right at Ballers. And Eddie Lack, clear the track. Here comes Lack, one of the NHL's favorite goalies of days gone by. Eddie Lack will be joining us from Arizona. And let's bring him in now without further ado. Kelly, the Silver Fox Remple. How you doing, Remps?
A guy comes here to Ballers. I open up my truck. I take one foot out of my truck.
Whoop.
And the opposite. Regina Ricky rolling out the red carpet for me so I could didn't have to walk through the soup.
Yeah.
I sit down, I get cream and sugar in my coffee here. I mean, it's like dying and going to heaven.
Good people. Good people, right?
Absolutely.
And but the thing is, freezing rain. Welcome back to Canada, Rod. The roads are a curling rink out there.
At least you weren't here in the minus 40 stuff we were doing.
Yeah. Somebody's always got it worse, right? Yeah, there's no doubt. So we're ready to talk sports. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please? Thank you. And hello, Kevin, the medium. Appreciate you tuning in. I will say this, one thing that all I've heard, you've been here a couple of days. I spoke to Viterra last night, the multinational grain company, about mental health. We're in the epicenter of Bedardville, Connor Bedardville. That's all I've heard for a couple of days. The Regina Pats hockey team, God's team, held an autograph and photo session on the concourse for 4-hour wait last night to get your photo taken with Connor Bedard. The next, Sidney Crosby. The next, Connor McDavid. So before I get to the NHL, Super Bowl, CFL stuff here, are you going to be at Pats and Warriors Saturday night? Because I am.
I'm going to be there for periods 2 and 3.
Okay, perfect.
My daughter cheers at a Western Canadian Showcase event in Moose Jaw. I think they're on at 6:20 or something. So I figure after they're done, I can make it for the last 2 periods.
Okay, I'll see you there then.
It's what's happening here in Regina, Saskatchewan, Rod.
Canada.
Is something that you or I have never seen.
The Beatles.
It's, you know, this guy, Connor Bedard, I knew it was going to be pretty special second half of the year when, before Christmas, they went out to BC and sold out every single rink out there. We saw it in Calgary the other night on TSN, over
17,223.
Yeah,
I watched it on NHL Network.
Oh, yeah? Okay, so I watched it on TSN.
Pull your mic in a little closer there, Rims.
All right.
Yeah.
And, you know, so what we're seeing is, you're right, it is a little bit Beatles-ish. And now I think, you know, every game probably going to be sold out, if not packed to the rafters every night from here on in. It's got an unbelievable, you know, vibe and fever to it. I got to think that if you're on the Regina Pats, this is like an experience that most of these guys will never, ever get in their lifetime ever again. And being able to play with a guy who, you know, commands that much attention, playing in front of full houses every single night. We just don't see it, Rod.
Yeah. I hope that they're enjoying it. But we'll come back on that, and I will ask the viewers and audience right now, who would you like to see draft Connor Bedard #1 overall? Or who do you think will get him? Our NHL top 5, bottom 5 are coming up on the program today, and in those bottom 5 teams, one of them, I think, will draft Connor Bedard #1. But our first point is NHL leftovers from Tuesday night. Starting in Tampa, Timo Meier scored his second goal of the game and 30th this season, 2:19 into overtime, and the San Jose Sharks rallied from a 2-goal deficit to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3. In New York, Bo Horvat scored in his home debut with the Islanders, leading his team to a 4-0 win over the Seattle Kraken. In Nashville, Phil Kessel, William Carrier, and Chandler Stevenson all had a goal and an assist as the Golden Knights snapped a 4-game slide, beating Nashville 5-1. In Detroit, Warren Foegele and Ryan McLeod had goals 36 seconds apart early in the second. The Oilers won their 8th game in 9 tries, beating the Red Wings in Detroit 5-2. Evander Kane had an empty netter. Jack Campbell made 30 saves in the win. In Pittsburgh, Chris Letang scored 3:36 into overtime to cap a frantic rally. And Pittsburgh stunned Colorado 2-1. And we wind it up in Chicago, where Frank the Tank Vetrano scored 2:15 into overtime, and Anaheim beat Chicago 3-2 in a matchup of 2 of the NHL's worst teams. Can you tell the players in Anaheim, stop trying so hard?
We want Connor.
We want Connor. We want Connor. Now, Kelly Remple, former WWF promoter, Bret Hart's manager, CTV salesman, restaurateur to the stars, financial planner now. He's done it all. But I wanted to get to the NHL, and you can take it wherever you want, dude. That was last night's games, but you had some pretty strong thoughts coming in here before the cameras got rolling.
Well, is that where you want me to go?
Yeah,
or am I going to get you in trouble?
You're going to say it, not me.
Yeah, okay. No, I just...
How about that?
We were big voice guy.
Yeah, Rick Regan.
We were talking off camera about how, in my mind, the Calgary Flames, I'm not sure that they've had a better team on paper in I don't even know how many years. But I just get the feeling that, you know, Daryl Sutter is just sucked the energy and the life right out of that group. I mean, we've always kind of known that, and anything that I've ever heard about Daryl, and, you know, I do know a number of people in Calgary, so, you know, it's not like I have one source. I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of say the same thing. If you work closely to that team, he's really hard on those young guys. But I just feel like it's gotten to the point now where I just think that those guys are flat.
The Flames.
Yeah, they should be a better team than they are. And I just keep, kind of week after week, I sort of keep waiting for them to go on that. We're going to win 8 of 9 or win, 5 in a row or something. And sort of, because I just feel like they're a better team than this. They shouldn't be fighting for a last playoff spot. But there they are, sitting there. And I just think that, old school style where I'm just going to grind guys down, grind them down, and then I'm going to pick them back up again. I don't know that works anymore. I think that I'm not questioning Daryl Sutter's ability to coach. Clearly, he knows the game. That's obvious. Look at his resume. Look at his Stanley Cup
Two-time
ring.
Stanley Cup champion.
Of course.
Coach of the year last year in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, but, you know, we've seen the Pat Burns and the Mike Keenans and those types of guys over the years. They've got the first year or two, great. But their shelf life, guys, they wear guys out. They just wear them out. And I think that that's even more of an issue now than ever because the guys have changed. Like guys don't want to hear they don't want to hear the truth, or they don't want the accountability. They don't want to be beaten down and then, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and that's what we do here, by the way, is the debate. That's what's made the show so popular. We don't fight, right? We talk about things. Trent in Norway chimes in. He says, Norway here, I predict Anaheim or Chicago will get Bedard in the draft lottery. I'm kind of sticking with Arizona, but they're trying too hard, too. Stop trying so hard, you guys. Is nobody telling them that? But Kelly came in here, and by the way, with Remps, again, he is a football guy first, so I am going to get your Super Bowl thoughts and obviously the Trevor Harris to Sask thoughts in a moment. But he came in here, and it was fun. A few minutes before the show, waving his finger, you're a Daryl Sutter guy, eh? And I'm like, I said, I'm a Sutter guy. It's exactly what I said. I said, I'm a Sutter guy, not necessarily a Daryl guy.
Fair enough.
And I've had a lot of dealings with Daryl Sutter, and everybody keeps telling me, he's a great guy behind closed doors. He's got a soft heart. I'm like, well, I haven't seen it, and I can only go by my own.
What I've seen.
Well, wouldn't you? Why would I go by what other people say?
I think what I said to you was it's hard to imagine that a mother and father could produce two kids, and one's Richie Sutter and one's Daryl Sutter, because you got
Pretty
one
different.
guy that's the salt of the earth, nicest human being on the planet, and the other guy is like not the nicest guy on the planet.
I don't know.
I just don't care for his shtick. I get tired of watching the press conferences, and he can't be nice to anybody. The rookie there a few weeks ago, where he started being really condescending and insulting to him. You just get tired of it after a while. It's like, well, try being positive for once.
You hear from the media, too, and I watch all the games, and there are guys on those Flames telecasts that you can just tell they're rolling their eyes at Daryl. I feel like they've had enough, but that's them. And Oleg in Winnipeg's watching. He says, I disagree so much. Huberdeau is sucking hard this year. How can he be tired of Daryl Sutter? He's only played 40 games.
But what does that say? That's my point. You think it's a mystery that he just showed up in Calgary and he became a lousy hockey player in 1 year?
I think Tkachuk goes to Florida and he's an all-star and scoring 5 points a game.
That you just answered your own question.
John in Winnipeg says, no way Arizona not getting Bedard. Of course, he's in Winnipeg, so he's anti-Arizona. I'd like him to go anywhere but Columbus. I really would like him to go anywhere but from
Now, why
Columbus.
is that?
Because I think if we go to Columbus, we'll never hear his name again.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
He'll drop right off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
They're bad and they're getting worse. And as you know, I've spent a lot of time in Arizona. I would like, if somebody's going to save hockey in Arizona, that it would be Connor Bedard. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Or maybe they get the asset and they trade him, Connor, to the Leafs for Austin Matthews, who's from Scottsdale, and he comes to Arizona and saves the Coyote. Whatever it is. I'd like to see that thing play. Columbus?
Yeah, I know. It's like going to Carolina or something.
We'd never see him again.
Yeah.
So there's some NHL thoughts right out of the chute. Thank you for playing along, Kel. Super Bowl 57.
Oh, I can't wait.
Drinking from a fire hose. Trying to take a sip from a fire hose here. Where do you start? With the matchup, the hype, everything.
Well, I think it's a fascinating matchup. You've got the number one offense in the Kansas City Chiefs, number one passing attack against the number two offense in the NFL with the number one rushing attack in Philly. I think it's one thing that I thought was very interesting when I was looking at some numbers the other day. I don't think that there'd be too many people that we'd be surprised that Philadelphia has the number one sack attack, right, in the league with the most sacks. But I was a little surprised to see that Kansas City had the second most. Because I think when we think of Kansas City, we think of, Andy Reid and just some unbelievable systems and the way that he's able to get the ball to some skilled guys in open space and the offense, right? But the truth of the matter is they got a great pass rush. And I think, Rod, if I were to make sort of just, I don't even know if I'd call it a prediction, but because I do think that Philadelphia is going to win. That's just my gut feeling, is that they're just a little bit better team in all.
Always go with your gut.
In all three phases. But it'll be, to me, what's the intriguing thing is these quarterbacks, both of them, are known, and the strength of their game is being able to use their legs, right? Being able to, they're not traditional pocket passers.
But they are great passers, too.
They are great passers, but when you're able to get an extra 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, because you can get out of the pocket and you can look downfield. How many times does Patrick Mahomes in a game get a 20 or 30-yard strike because buys himself an extra, 2 or 3 seconds to find somebody open? Is he going to be able to do that? Is 2 weeks enough time for his injury, for his wheel to get better, that he can play his game? Is Kansas City going to be able to stop Jalen Hurts from basically running roughshod over them? Because one of the reasons that Philadelphia is the #1 rushing team in the National Football League, he's got a lot of those chunks of yards himself. So, I just feel like whichever team's quarterback is able to sort of get outside the pocket, or you could look at it and say which team's defense is able to prevent the other team's, the opponent's quarterback from being able to do that. Can you get pressure without having to bring extra people? Can you keep those quarterbacks inside so they don't have the extra?
So the line of scrimmage. Will define this game.
And can Patrick Mahomes run?
Yeah. So we'll pause for a second. Our poll question today is the fun prop challenge that we're doing all week long. Whom will have more receiving yards in Super Bowl 57? It's for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. Who will have more receiving yards? Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs or A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles? Vote now. It's a fun one.
That's a good one.
And we also ask you can go to the links. Clark will put it up here. Bet Regal has put up just a fun prop challenge. I think it's 10 questions on prop bets. You can play for free. The link will appear in our YouTube feed, betregal.ca, on the main page right there. Play for free the prop challenge from our exclusive betting partner and sportsbook, Bet Regal. From the viewers, Ted in Arizona says, good morning, everyone. Great start to the show. Glad to have you, Ted. And I agree, and it's because of the Silver Fox. He brings sizzle.
Like bacon.
From Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. Sorry, Kelly, I don't totally agree with you on Daryl being too hard on players. Coach of the Year 2022. We live in a world of don't hurt my feelings. I'll let you address this when we come back. Trevor in Winnipeg says, Captain Serious to Winnipeg. He's referring to Jonathan Taves and the captain of the Blackhawks, who's from Winnipeg. And then he says, Bedard goes to Chicago, Chicago. That title in town. It's going to be fun to watch. When we come back, more Super Bowl talk. Trevor Harris on the move in the CFL, it sounds like. Our NHL top 5, bottom 5 on the way for Bet Regal. LeBron is officially the king. If you're following that, the NBA has a new all-time scoring champ, and he resides in Los Angeles. It's the RP Show. We're live on Game Plus television. We're also live streaming on YouTube, your favorite podcast platform, and on the radio, WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
It is fantastic to be back in the rectangle, the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We got our good friend with us, Kelly Remple, the Silver Fox, again, former WWF promoter. He's back at the squared circle, which we'll talk about in a moment. Bret Hart's manager, amongst a myriad of other things. We're going to move on to more topics in a second, but from the viewers, we are live from Ballers Rec Room, by the way, your entertainment destination. Perry Shockey, watching in Lethbridge.
Perry Shockey.
On Game Plus television. Perry S. Hockey.
What an interesting man.
Shockey's the name, hockey's the game. He says...
He said to me once, he said, the older you get, the better you were.
Absolutely. He'd know. He's not as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. Perry Shockey, former LA Kings scout, coach of the Warriors, Pats, and Chiefs, and Hurricanes. Great show, says Shocks. Yours, Moose's, and your guest truly makes people digest, contemplate, and mostly form their own unsolicited opinion. For sure, but we involve everybody. Here's one, this won't surprise you, from Glenn. Glenn with 2 N's. Rod, if you're free, I have an extra ticket to the Warriors and Oil Kings game in Moose Jaw tonight, if you want to join me. I would love to, but I can't. To quote Sammy Seafood Sam, I'm busy.
How about that?
Where's Seafood Sam? Moved to Calgary. He's busy.
Yeah.
But thank you, Glenn.
Muna.
Big shots. Big shots.
Sitting up there with the Russian national coach at the press conference.
Guy ran a seafood restaurant in Saskatoon, okay? His name was Seafood Sam. That was the name of the restaurant. And the Saskatoon Blades would bring him down to coach the All-Star, or the intra-squad game, and he'd start brawls. And
I remember
Mona.
hearing the story about Daryl Lubanicki. They told the guys, no more fights. And so all of a sudden there's a fight, and then they drop the puck, and then there's another fight, and there's another.
He's coaching the intra-squad
One
game.
kid had fought 3 times, so Daryl Lubanicki said, I'm going to put an end to this. And he walks around the rink, and he comes over to the kid who's had 3 fights, and he says, what in is going on around here? And the kid says, that Chinese guy keeps sending me out to beat the shit out of that guy. So he had to go to this Seafood Sam, who was this little 5'2" Chinese fellow who owned the local restaurant.
Seafood Sam's.
And tell him to knock it off.
No more fights.
How about that?
Bunch of young kids. Eh? Oh, that's funny stuff.
I know, right?
They don't make them like that anymore.
I miss them.
Those characters, hey? We've taken characters out of society, haven't we?
I don't understand why. But I do not want to be the show that sits and rails on. It ain't what it used to be, because nothing's what it used to be.
And I have to keep telling myself.
Yeah, we need to get with the program.
I know.
The 5th point here, I've skipped over a few. Our NHL top 5, bottom 5, I'll do a little later. LeBron James is the NBA's new all-time leading scorer. The Lakers superstar pushed his career total to 38,388 points last night in the 3rd quarter against Oklahoma City. I know you're still laughing.
Seafood Sam.
In Saskatoon, when he was coaching the inter-squad game, he had his cell phone. Lauren Mulliken was the coach of the Blades. He was in the top of the rink. He was calling Sam's cell phone on the bench to tell him to stop the fights. Sam finally answered. He goes, can't talk now, I'm busy. That's where I got it from.
Oh.
So, to the audience.
They just don't make them like that anymore.
902-518-3033, and Ryan O'Radio is checked in from Noonan, Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Ryan O'Radio flying the ship at WQE. He says, RP Show. Hey, Ryan, hope you're okay with the stories.
Well,
it doesn't matter the geographics. This is funny stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you live.
Don't tell me somebody's going to take offense because of whatever. I mean,
it's history.
If he was British, we'd speak with a British accent.
The British Bulldog, of which you're friend. Listen, Safe Moondog watching on YouTube says, LOL, John in Winnipeg. This Silver Fox is so funny. Great energy, dude.
Thank you.
I do want to get around to that Canadian Football League thing. There's really only one news item, and that is Trevor Harris leaving the Montreal Alouettes to sign with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We talked a lot about that yesterday. I mentioned this gentleman to my left, your right, was the manager of Bret the Hitman Hart, WWF promoter, and I said you're back in the squared circle in Calgary, and we should talk about that for a second.
Sure.
You're on the mic.
Yeah, well, it happened innocently enough. So a couple months ago, back in November, Bret and I haven't done business together in a long, long time, but we're still very good friends. He says, you know, my son Dallas has got this dungeon wrestling program, kind of like Stampede Wrestling from back in the day, except instead of it being a televised weekly show, they do kind of quarterly events, like they're one every 2 or 3 months. He says, you should come up to my house, you can stay at my place, but you should come to it. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's the talent is on the card is really good. So I did. And we're sitting around as they're putting the matches together and they're setting up the ring and everything. And Dallas says, oh my God, I can't believe it. He says, the guy we had doing the ring announcing tonight, he's not.
That's why you got in there?
He's not coming. So Bret's like,
this guy can do it?
Yeah, he goes, your guy's right here. I'm like, I got no time to prepare. He's like, you can do it. So we went out, we tore the house down. It was a great show, so they invited me back.
You just happened to have a tuxedo in your car?
No, I didn't. But luckily I had a Robert Graham shirt from Colin O'Brien.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
I was dressed up a little bit. And lo and behold, they have me back. So we're doing it again next Friday night at the Pavilion in Calgary.
That's downtown by the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you're listening or watching from. Everybody knows Bret the Hitman Hart. And last year I went to the Hitman's pro wrestling game. You've heard about this, the Calgary Hitman hockey game. They dragged a ring out onto the ice after the game, and they had a full card. It was unbelievable. I had so much fun. And they showed Bret Hart on the big screen. He doesn't get in the squared circle anymore.
No.
He doesn't move a lot. Doesn't move real
Bret
easily.
is 65.
Can't believe it.
cancer survivor, stroke survivor.
He's a champion.
So there you go.
The excellence of execution.
Quick story. Can I tell you a real quick story?
Yeah, 60 seconds or less.
No problem. So I thought this was kind of touching in a way, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Maybe you won't be surprised, but we drove into the pavilion last week, or a couple months ago, for the first show I was telling you about. And his daughter Jade was texting me saying, when are you guys coming here? All the wrestlers are waiting to talk to, want to kind of go over what's going to happen.
He's the Wayne Gretzky of wrestling, huh?
Wrestling. So we drive in to the pavilion, it's like sacred holy ground for wrestling. It's like the Madison Square Garden of wrestling in Western Canada, because that's where his father Stu had Stampede Wrestling for years. Long story short, we come walking in through these dark doors, open up these dark doors, and as we come walking in where all of the wrestlers were waiting to talk to him, all of these independent wrestlers from all over the world that were brought in for this card. It was like the Godfather walked in. It was like, shh, shh, shh. Everybody got real quiet. They stood in a long line, and every single one of them shook his hand and said, "Mr. Hart, it's an honor." Those that didn't know him. I was kind of emotional watching it. It's like, to these young people, it's like Wayne Gretzky just walked into their life for the next few hours.
That's why I said it.
Unbelievable.
Well, in Boca Raton, we have the Boca Raton Pro Wrestling Club, and they have a event on a cruise ship. They call it Cruising for a Bruising.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Great name.
Wrestling ring right on the boat. Going to be going to that. Swerve in Calgary watching says, back in the day, Stu Hart's dungeon, nothing but screams and ripping of ligaments and torn muscles from wannabe wrestlers. Rod Monroe, that's producer Clark Stads, watching in Arizona, and he says, a big hello to Kelly. Great show today, Rod. Keep it going. I haven't said 2 words. It's all the Silver Fox.
Oh, come on.
I say that with great reverence, as you know. We'll be talking more NFL next segment with Jim Lang, by the way.
Diamond Jim Lang.
Yeah. Okay, from Jack in Vulcan. Jameer Thurman signing with the Tiger Cats. Another great linebacker leaves Cowtown. But as always, in Huff, we trust. We got 4 minutes left before Jim Lang's on. Your take in this CFL negotiating window and what's happened specifically with Trevor Harris coming to Saskatchewan, it appears.
Well, I don't think there's any question that he's coming. What I'm really interested to see is how much of an upgrade is Trevor Harris going to be from Cody Fajardo? I don't see it myself. I'm not saying he's not even better. I'm saying that for people that think that the Riders would struggle the way they have the last couple of years, especially last year, with the offensive line that they had, which was clearly broken and couldn't protect Cody Fajardo, it's not like you're bringing in Warren Moon or Doug Flutie here, folks. You're bringing in and I'm not saying Trevor's not a good quarterback. I'm saying you went from a guy who was probably the 5th or 6th best starting quarterback in the CFL to a guy who's probably about the 5th or 6th best starting quarterback. So it's not like you've now solved all of your problems. You still got a major problem with your offensive line. And I think the thing that gives them the most hope is for whatever reason, I never felt like Jason Maas kind of had the right, he wasn't pushing the right buttons at the right times with the offense. I kind of question maybe the play calling sometimes, although those guys have forgotten more about it than I'll ever know. So I try not to be that guy that comes across like I know way more about play calling than a CFL coach. But I did find that there were times like he was trying to pound a square peg in a round hole. But so Trevor will, he'll have the benefit of a new coordinator, a fresh start. They couldn't bring Cody back. I hate to say it because I actually kind of like Cody. But when that much damage is done and there's that much water under the bridge, I'm not sure that you can kind of pull it back. I just think it was time to move on. But for those people that think that, oh, we have Trevor Harris now, we're going to be a Grey Cup contender, I'm not seeing it. What do you think?
Well, we don't have time here for my thoughts, but they're pretty much exactly the same as yours. Things aren't great. You've got a coach and GM that will be battling for their jobs this year. Half the season's going to be continuity coming together with new faces.
Yeah.
Right? The finger was pointed at Cody Fajardo. The finger was pointed at the O-line coach and fired. as if that would clean up the problems.
Yeah.
And that's not, it doesn't end there, right? But I'll say this from Kevin the Medium. He says, he said, hey, by the way, Kevin the Medium, can you ask who's going to win the Super Bowl, please? And get back to me. Randy in Winnipeg says, I just did the Bet Regal prop contest. Easy to do. Thank you, Randy, for doing that and supporting our partners. Kevin the Medium says, Remple's laugh is so contagious. And he's a wrestling guy. I could listen to him for hours. I have. And it just gets funnier and funnier. But from Big Bob, right on. If you can't protect your quarterback, it does not matter who your quarterback is.
100%.
It all starts with a strong O-line. I could go on and on and on. I won't. But is that Smitty? Oh, I thought our director of scouting was here. Can you stick around for a bit?
Of course.
Okay. One segment with Jim Lang, and then the Silver Fox will be in the segment after that. We'll be right back talking Super Bowl 57 with Jim Clubber Lang. It's the RP Show live from Ballers Rec Room, your entertainment destination and your Super Bowl headquarters. Live on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers, Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Another day where the program's going by far too fast, but that is a good thing. It tells you we're having fun, and we're switching gears over to Super Bowl 57 now. Canada's foremost NFL expert, Jim Lang, joins us, the coverer of many Super Bowls. And Jim, before we get into Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, if I may, what's your favorite that you've attended?
Super Bowl 43, without question. A great night in Tampa. Jennifer Hudson with the anthem. Chelsea Sully Sullenberger had just landed that plane in the Hudson River. They honor him before kickoff. One of the great games between the Cardinals and Steelers ever. Ends the first half with a 99-yard interception return by James Harrison. Halftime by Bruce Springsteen, and then that last-second touchdown to Santonio Holmes from Ben Roethlisberger, where he drags his toes to win. It was just the atmosphere of the game, the ending. It was the whole week that's my favorite Super Bowl I've ever covered.
Yeah, it didn't take you long to think about that answer either, by the way. So to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona this year, the biggest sports betting week of the year for everybody in sports and the consumers and the fans. I don't have a read on which way this game's going to go. They say it's the tightest line of all time. It's two 14-win teams. Where do you start breaking this thing down?
Well, they're both the number one seeds in their respective conference. They're both well-coached, different style of coaching, very talented, great quarterbacks. There's not a lot to choose between the two teams. I understand why the line is tight. The only thing I think is a sure thing is the over. I think both teams are capable of scoring enough points to hit the over. But the big question for me is the offensive line of the Eagles, mainly Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, and what they're going to do with Frank Clark and Chris Jones, because Frank Clark and Chris Jones were the X factor in the Chiefs' win over the Bengals, and what they frustrated Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense. So early in this game, as good as Jalen Hurts is, Rob, this is his first time in the Super Bowl. So if I'm Nick Sirianni, I want to design the offense 3-step drop only, RPOs, high percentage passes, sprinkle in some runs, move the ball, get some first downs, just get those butterflies and that anxiety out of his system and get him in the rhythm of football and moving the football. Mahomes doesn't have to worry. Man, this is all half for Mahomes, right? This third trip to the Super Bowl. But for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, the Eagles, they've been so good all year, and there's so much hype around them. Just get him, put him in the most highest percentage possible way to make plays, get the ball moving down the field. Hey, if you get a field goal first drive, it's fine. Just get some points early, get him in that rhythm, and that's going to be key. For Mahomes, it's all about his ankle and his mobility. And, Hassan Reddick and Ndamukong Suh and Fletcher Cox and that Eagles front seven, they'll be coming after him. They're going to test that ankle and see how mobile he really is and how sort of rooted in the pocket he's going to have to be because of his health. And that's going to be something to watch early in this game big time.
Well, it's Wednesday of Super Bowl week. I think now would be a good time to ask our audience, radio, television, and streaming, what you folks think's going to go down on Sunday. 902-518-3033 is the number to text us here. But it's not just another game. That's why I wonder with the bookies and the odds makers how they deliberate with the line and pick a winner, because the TV timeouts are longer. The halftime is longer. They've had 2 weeks with which to prepare. The health is a story. I guess Andy Reid said today his entire roster's practicing today. Not everybody's 100%. But everybody's practicing. I wonder how much gamesmanship's involved in that, Jim. It's not just another game.
No, I think Andy's been around long enough, Rod. I think you nailed it. It is gamesmanship, and it is not just another game. Despite the reporter that asked Nick Sirianni Monday if this was a must-win game, he said, yeah, it's a Super Bowl. It's a must-win game.
Didn't hear that one.
But that's what happens in media in Super Bowl week. I mean, because they're so good and they're so evenly matched, I'm leaning towards the Eagles to win the game, but I can see why the point spread's so tight. And this is, I was there at Super Bowl 42 the last time the Super Bowl was Arizona with the Patriots and the Giants, where it was a last-second touchdown. And I really believe the team with the ball last is going to win this game. They're so close in so many factors, and it's going to come down to no dumb 15-yard penalties, like we saw with the Bengals with Osai at the end of that game against the Chiefs. They cannot afford that. When in doubt, leave them be, because the refs are going to be looking for it. Can't turn the ball over. You can't make mental mistakes because there's just too little to separate both teams, Rod. So they're so close, a couple mistakes either way could make a huge swing in the football game. So no cheap first downs, tight special teams. You can't be sleeping on special teams and allow a big return and a kickoff or punt return because there's not much to choose between the two teams. We're as football fans, we're really spoiled this Sunday, Rob. Great coaches, great teams. They've been great teams all year long, great quarterbacks, very talented. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith as a wide receiver tandem for the Eagles are as good as it gets. But then you have Travis Kelce as a tight end. He's putting himself in the position a couple more years that he'll erase Tony Gonzalez and Rob Gronkowski and the rest of them, and he could be the greatest tight end the NFL's ever seen. And that's part of the thing as well, is you're not going to stop Travis Kelce. You hope that you can contain him, but there's no way to stop him as a receiver. He's just too big and too good.
Our audience wants to know if your dog is okay, Jim.
The dog is fine. The dog is in the other room to keep from jumping on me and getting into the camera. So Monty's fine. She's just a little sour that she's not on camera right now. So
Monty, you can bring her on. Next time, bring her on. That don't bother us. People do it all the time. Trust me. Not a big deal, Jim. Where is Aaron Rodgers going to play quarterback next year?
I don't know. I don't know if your viewers and listeners heard, but he wants to go to I don't know how to describe it. It's a dark room.
Retreat.
So he's going like a retreat in darkness for 4 days to get his thoughts together. I'm saying he's playing football again next year. Where it's going to happen, I'm not sure. That's the thing. What Aaron Rodgers is trying to decide during his retreat in darkness is where he wants to play. Does he want to go to Green Bay? Does he want to end up in another team? So many people assume San Francisco would be the landing point for Tom Brady, but that's not to be. So there are options for Aaron Rodgers around the NFL. You've heard the Jets, you've heard the Raiders, you've heard the 49ers. So, he's a real wild card, I think, in the offseason in the NFL, because if he decides, hey, I want to play next year and I'm going to go somewhere else, it throws the draft and free agency completely out of the window in the NFL's. Teams will be trying to figure out a way to get him.
And he doesn't seem to be in a rush to make a decision.
Nor should he be. He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to make a decision until before the draft. He can say wait till before the draft and say, this is what I'm going to do. So if he does make a decision, I'm not playing, then the Packers can respond accordingly. I am planning on going elsewhere. And then teams with assets to move on draft day can do something to get his right. So it's going to be fascinating where that plays out.
Absolutely. But for now, it's about the game. Jim, thanks for the analysis. Enjoy Super Bowl 57. Thanks for the time today.
Thanks, Rod.
Jim Clubberlang joining us from Toronto. The Silver Fox in next. Next hour, our Director of Scouting, Craig Smith, and NHL favorite goalie, Eddie Lack from Arizona. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE, The Key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now back to the studio with Rod.
All right, just ahead of more with the Silver Foxes sports update. Fresh off a 7-game road trip, the Toronto Raptors host the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Raps sit 11th in the NBA's Eastern Conference, just outside the final playoff play-in spot. Our Atlanta Hawks, what do they got? They're not playing tonight. They got Phoenix at State Farm Arena on Thursday night. There are just 2 games in the NHL tonight. The Vancouver Canucks continue their Eastern road trip against the Rangers. They're coming off a 5-4 OT loss in New Jersey. They're 2-1-1 under Rick Tocchet. Elsewhere tonight, the Dallas Stars host the Minnesota Wild. The sports update is for Landmark Cinemas. In theaters now, A Man Called Otto, based on the comical and moving #1 New York Times bestseller. A Man Called Otto tells the story of Otto Anderson, played by Tom Hanks, a grumpy widower who is very set in his ways, but when a lively young family moves in next door, he meets his match in quick-witted and very pregnant Marisol, leading to an unlikely friendship that will turn his world upside down. In theaters now, Landmark Cinemas, A Man Called Otto. The Silver Fox is here, Remps. I don't know if I guess we have time to talk about that CFL thing, but what I think people need to know is being here in the Queen City, God's team, or the Regina Pats, this hysteria over Connor Bedard it's not an overstatement. It's Connor Bedard, the #1 pick on this summer's NHL draft, which will be held in Nashville, and I plan to be there. It's out of control.
Yeah, and we've never seen anything like that. I mean, there's been players that have come and gone that there's been a taste of it, but this is a completely different level.
Say as much as you can what you said in the break about...
Well, you know, Dante DeCori has turned into a pretty good friend of mine.
He's the voice of the Pats, PR guy.
Yeah, and we do Pats TV together for local access here every Tuesday. And he'd just been telling me, like, the poise and composure that this guy has in dealing with it is just off the charts. I mean, they roll into some of these, especially the NHL cities, like Calgary and Edmonton and Winnipeg. every time the bus pulls up to the hotel, somehow people know where they're staying, and there's 20, 30, 40 people.
I never knew how they would figure that out. I've never known that.
Yeah, and you know, you try to be a little bit coy about that stuff, and no, they're there, and they got their books and their jerseys, and Connor, for the most part, unless the team's like, no, he signs it. Dante said that there's been people wandering around the hotels, like just aimlessly wandering around with their stack of magazines and their jerseys, hoping that maybe they find him, poke his head out of the room so they can run over and ask. It's just, it's craziness. I mean, Rod, you and I have both worked for the Regina Pats. I was a director of marketing there about the same time that you broke into the league as the voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, and then eventually longtime Regina Pat broadcaster. We have, when the Pats used to do autograph sessions, you'd have a couple hundred people show up. Last night, there was 600 or 700 people that were in line before they even started the thing. It went on for hours.
4-hour wait to get your picture with Connor Bedard.
I mean,
Tuesday night.
That doesn't happen in junior hockey. It just doesn't.
Drew Campbell is watching in Toronto on Game Plus television. We asked earlier who will select Connor Bedard #1, and he says Montreal is going to get Bedard with Florida's pick because that's the funniest possible outcome, says Drew in Toronto. Montreal, by the way, is the 6th worst team in the NHL statistically. 6th or 7th worst team, and they've lost 4 in a row.
So they got some work to do yet.
Well, but don't count them out. With 30 games left. Jim Wagner is watching in Balgony. And he says, the #1 attribute for the RP Show sidekick is great hair. Bringing the sizzle. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jim.
It's almost white now.
Yeah, we used to call him the Silver Fox. He's not that old. He's had gray hair since he's 19. 13, yeah.
That's when it started.
David in Winnipeg, he says, I don't think even Connor Bedard could put out the tire fire that's Arizona. And then he goes on to say, Kenny Lawler back in Winnipeg, 4th straight trip to the Cup. You can review history or create it. Let's go. That's from David in Winnipeg.
Very Winnipegish.
Very Winnipegish. I talked to John Lynch. He's going to be at our Super Bowl watch party on Sunday at the Four Seasons. You're invited. You've been to these things before. You know they're a real crazy time. Last minute of play in hour 1. He's just right for the party.
He's the Joe Rockhead of Regina.
He's
an older version.
The Don Cherry of football. He's great. I just talked to him this morning.
What a good man.
As you can imagine.
My favorite Regina broadcaster of all time, John
Frenzy.
How could you not?
The Don Cherry of football. How you doing, boy?
I remember when you left CKRM, he phoned me at home demanding that him and I get you back on the air. Like we were going to be able to.
He doesn't want to. Okay. Thanks, Rems.
Thank you. Always fun. Thanks for having me.
We got our director of scouting coming up next hour, Craig Smith, and Eddie Lack from Arizona. Stick around. We'll be back after this brief pause on Game Plus and WQEE, The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The word we're getting today is that Trevor Harris, who's been in Montreal the last couple of years as quarterback, is going to come to Saskatchewan for over $1 million over 2 years. And he's now recruiting potential free agents. So that told me, yeah, he's coming. And not too many people saw this coming.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show, Hour 2. I'm telling you, we are definitely coming in hot. Hang on, Smitty. We'll get to that. We are live from Ballers Rec Room. You're good. Everything's happening. As Don, who's it? Bob Cole was. Everything's happening, Bob Cole would say. It's our second seating. The Silver Fox, Kelly Remple, has just left. We spent Hour 1 talking about Wednesday night NHL leftovers, Super Bowl 57 with Jim Lang. The hysteria that is Connor Bedard, the #1 pick in the NHL draft upcoming this summer. And I will tell you that for the football fans, you're really going to love Hour 2. Now we can bring him in. Our director of scouting, the great Craig Smith, 2-time Grey Cup champion. The football people always love having him here for professional reasons and personal reasons because he's just a great guy. Smitty, how you doing, man?
I've been better, but I take it one day at a time.
You look good, man.
Yeah, you know, that's so funny. I wish I felt as good as people say I look, but yeah, just that's the reality. That's the cards I've been dealt.
You got a nice clean shave going today.
I do.
You knew you were going on television today.
I was on TV, so I had to shave.
Yeah, so, Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio, and YouTube. So there's a lot of things going on in the world of football, and it's later on that we'll get to hockey. Eddie Lack's going to join us from Arizona, the former Canucks, Flames, Hurricanes goalie, and Manitoba Moose is our Winnipeg viewers have always like to point out. And we have our NHL top 5, bottom 5 upcoming. But I'm going to open with the Canadian Football League because, frankly, that's where Craig cut his teeth. Would I be right?
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah. 2-time Grey Cup champion. Tell all your friends, Rod's talking CFL with Craig Smith. Tell them right now. Turn on Game Plus, turn on YouTube, whatever, because there's not a lot of people talking about it at this time of year, which is a shame because it's a big time of year. This negotiating window 1 week ahead of free agency. So let's start with Trevor Harris to Sask. If we believe that's going to happen, do you believe Trevor Harris is leaving the Montreal Alouettes to the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Oh, I do. I'm pretty sure that's almost a done deal. And it sounds like he's bringing
Jake Weineke.
So I think that the duo is coming over. Now they got to protect them. That's the big thing. But, yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we have... like I say, a lot of football people watching, a lot of football fans. One of those people, Craig, and I'm saying this to you and also to the football audience that loves this stuff. I had a guy connected to the Alouettes ownership that wrote me a message this morning and said, do not forget, the Alouettes can match that offer. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now it's kind of up to whether Trevor Harris, Edinburgh product, Ohio kid, if he wants to leave Montreal and come to Saskatchewan. Do you know more than what's being reported, or
no? No, I don't. But what I do know is I've talked to some people, and they had mentioned about the ownership and stuff like that, and there's people there that want to get the team, but the people that had the team, they're not accepting offers yet. So that's what I've heard so far, and that'll be an interesting situation. Now, I'm not sure what'll happen. Do they want Trevor? I mean, that's the
who's they?
The Montreal people that are there now. Do they want him, or do they want to go in a different direction, like a Dane Evans or something like that, or Cody? Who knows? They could be switching sevens. But it'll be interesting to see. Now, the other thing is the big free agent that's still out there is Lewis.
Geno Lewis, the MVP.
MVP. I mean, he had one hell. He put up
wide receiver.
Great numbers this past year. You think he could follow Trevor to Saskatchewan? Do you think that could be a possibility? That's just kind of goofy talk, but you just never know. He's brought one guy. Now, will he bring another guy? Because he says he's talking to his friends. Well, that's what they're reporting anyway. So,
trying to recruit other free agents.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, and by the way, we'll probably get into the NFL Super Bowl talk next segment, which will be around 20 after the hour, and we'll get into our poll question today, which is a fun Super Bowl prop. This is going by very fast, as always.
Always does.
And I just want to say, that football guy whom I know, he knows I'll protect his identity, but he has he's tied to Montreal, okay, Smitty? He says, just remember, the original CFL team has the right to match or beat any offer made prior to February 14th. No signings official till then.
Right.
Lots can happen by then. So my question to you is, what are the chances that the Rider Nation's got their hopes up too high, a la Bo Levi Mitchell, which they thought was coming here, didn't they?
It all depends on if Montreal wants him. That's the bottom line.
How bad they want him.
How bad they want him, and that's the critical answer right there. If they want him, then they'll match him. They'll do that for sure. And it's the same thing with Kenny Lawler. Edmonton can match too, but will they do that? Because Kenny is pretty much signed. Until February 14th, it's not official.
Well, my phone's going off like crazy today. Winnipeg viewers, your hometown, where we're very big on Game Plus TV. There, Bell MTS cable carries it. The Bomber fans are writing in here saying that the Blue Bombers have signed Kenny Lawler, and nothing's been made official there. But we do have breaking news. The BC Lions, the first team with which you worked, correct?
Yep.
And won the 2000 Grey Cup. They have made official news today. And we're on Channel 924 and TELUS Cable in the beautiful province of British Columbia. From the BC Lions, they announced today they have signed American quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. to a one-year extension to keep him in orange and black through the 2024 season. Vernon Adams Jr., Oregon stud, as you know, was previously eligible to become a free agent after the 2023 campaign. So we are sitting here and we're talking about Montreal, we're talking about Sask, we're talking about Winnipeg. For the BC people, and they got a place in your heart, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I know there's a lot of guys there that are still there. That, I love.
Yeah, I'm sure the team's going, what about us? They going to be okay without Nathan Rourke?
Well, they're not going to be as good as far as I can see. But Vernon, when Rourke went down, Vernon went in and he won some games. When he first came out, like he started at Eastern Washington, and that was the guy that that obviously was watching, and okay, is this guy? I think this kid's going to be a CFL guy. And then he went to Oregon. I went, oh boy, he went to Oregon. Now it's a bit, bright lights and all that. What's going to happen? But that kid could play in college, and a lot of times it doesn't transfer, but a lot of times it does. And he, like I said, he's had success. He'll get protected. Kelly Bates has done a great job going in there, and with that offensive line that didn't change. they're the same guys, but Kelly's gone in
Great
and
coach.
done a great job. I love Kelly. Kelly's great. And so, yeah, they're going to be good. They were in the Western Final, and went right to the end with the Bombers. So I mean, they'll be good. They'll be a good team.
Humboldt boy Kelly Bates,
Yeah.
of course, and the BC Lions making news today. They have signed Vernon Adams Jr. to a contract extension through 2024. Now, you've worked with front offices of Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Hamilton, BC. Am I forgetting anybody?
No, 4.
To have your quarterback that you believe in locked up must be the most secure feeling.
Oh, it's the best.
Right.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have I been on your show talking about, okay, if you have a quarterback, you got a chance.
A lot.
If you can protect him, you got a better chance. Give him some weapons, then things are looking good. Then the defensive side, it's like you were talking last hour with Remps. The line of scrimmage is key. Well, I guess we'll talk about the NFL later, but it's so critical, both sides of the ball. And that, like last year when Saskatchewan went out to a 4-2 record, dang, that front was pretty damn good. With Robertson, and I know Garrett, he had some trouble, but he was a damn good player. That they were good, in the first 6 games, 4-2. That's pretty darn good, so it's important to have that.
Let's backpedal for a second.
Sure.
Assuming Trevor Harris signs with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, what do you think it means to the team's fortunes in a critical year in 2023?
Well, they got a quarterback. At least they've got a quarterback. They don't have a guy that that hasn't really played much. He's played. He's had a lot of success. He's had some issues too. He's had some trouble. So if they can get the good Trevor Harris and get the consistency that they need. He's not a spring chicken, but he's been around. He's done stuff. There have been times when they'll throw that interception in some of those playoff games, but he's done some damn good things. So it's important. They've got a quarterback. It's not like, okay, we lost Cody. Now, are we going with Dolagala? Are we going with Fine or that?
Is it an upgrade?
To Cody? Well, yes and no. It's really hard because Cody had a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to play in behind that line?
I wouldn't.
And no disrespect to those guys. I mean, they're out there, they're battling, and I have so much respect for those guys. But look at all the sacks. I mean, it was 7 sacks, 8 sacks, 9 sacks, and kids running. Ask Anthony Calvillo. If he's got his feet planted, he's going to set the league records. But if he doesn't, it's not going to happen. So he had a tough time. So they got to protect. They got to protect Harris if he comes.
I feel like it's so elementary that everybody can see it.
Yeah. I
don't see a lot of moves being made to address the offensive line.
Well, it was a little disappointing last year. Now, I don't know. I know it's not easy. Like, I've been there. It's not easy. Like, all of a sudden, you're going to grab a guy out of the,
It's not fantasy
football.
football.
And come in and learn the system. I mean, the offensive line, there's 5 guys, and, they have to, in unison, they have to do things and work together. So it's not an easy thing. But, I don't know how many times, they went with those tackles over and over and over and over again. And Clark going down was a big issue. I mean, that's the rock. That's a guy who's a quarterback on the offensive line. So those are big things. And then you put Bandy, who's a rookie. I like Bandy coming out of college at the University of Calgary. I thought this kid's going to be pretty good. But not right away. I mean, down the road, like this year, it's going to be another year under his belt. He's going to be better. But, it's a difficult thing, so.
Yeah, well, I'll preface it again. NFL talk coming up next segment, which is in 4 minutes' time. That's not very long in the NFL. You're talking to the football guys. I'm hearing that now the USFL coming back for year 2, the XFL launching, is creating a headache for signing Americans into the CFL. Have you heard much about that?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, like when I had Danny McManus, and when they came in, Danny and Ted Gavaya,
Blue Bomber.
Blue Bomber.
Management.
Blue Bomber, great front office, one of the best in the league as far as I'm concerned. But I had talked with them and talked about that, and they said, yeah, it's, there's a concern. But I'll tell you my experience in 2001 when I first came in, and I was like a raw rookie, thinking I knew a lot, but boy, did I need to learn a lot. Well, it was funny because we had the XFL, We had NFL Europe, and then we had the Arena League that was paying a ton. And we tried to get a quarterback out of the Arena League, and we couldn't because we couldn't pay what they were paying. So there's 3 leagues, just think of all the players. You know, we still got guys like Barron Simpson. You know,
the Minister of Defense.
Yeah, and he's been here. You know him. You dealt with him before.
Guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah. I would maybe swear a little. Like, Craig, you're killing me. You know, it was so funny. You know, don't be swearing around me. But I don't know. He was. That's the thing. That now it's time for the player personnel people in the CFL. Now they got to get out, and they do it anyway. But now it's just they just got to keep on trying to find those guys, and it doesn't matter where. One thing about Chris Jones, you know, I obviously have a history with him. He's the one who got me out of Saskatchewan, but he looks for players. Like there's a never-ending time, and he's always looking. It doesn't matter if it's under a rock. He'll be at a camp, and there'll be a receiver, and he don't really care for him. Go on the other side, play DB. Let's see what you got, you know, because he's a defensive guy, right? But you know, now they just gotta comb and look and all that kind of stuff.
Look harder. That's what it is.
Find the cracks, and that's even if there's no leagues like that, we still got to find those guys. It's not all the time. Like people think, oh shit, let's get people up here, no problem. But it's not easy sometimes. There's so many different things, guys. I don't want to come to Canada.
Don't have passports.
I remember picking up a guy from the airport in Vancouver. Picked him up, and we were going to Surrey, and it's about 40 minutes out. And the guy in the back seat was looking around. He says, "Man, this is just like the States. I can't believe it." You know, like I was just wondering.
What did he think he was?
What was he thinking he's coming in? But you know, it's not easy.
Igloos.
Yeah, it's not
sled
easy.
dogs.
It's not easy sometimes, you know, to get the guys up. But once you do, you know, it's gold when you get those guys that want to.
And they love it.
Yeah, and the guys, a lot of times it's the guys that NFL, okay, I still want to play in the NFL, but coming up here to work on my craft and then get another opportunity. Brendan Badejo, I got him to BC. He was an all-star for 1 year for us, and he was done. And then he was in the NFL forever. I'd see him at camps. He'd come and give me a hug. And, you know, I mean, that's the deal. You know, they'll always want, and who could blame them? They're playing at home, in their homes, in their home state, country, and the money is so much different. Not that there's good money in the CFL too. So, but it's you know, it's a different ball of wax for sure.
When we come back, Super Bowl 57 talk, I want your predictions from the audience. 902-518-3033. We're not going to hold you to it, but I'd love to know what you're thinking. This is the tightest line in Super Bowl history, the closest matchup in Super Bowl history. It's a wonderful matchup. Eagles and Chiefs coming your way Sunday. And by the way, we will be having our Super Bowl watch party at the Four Seasons Sports Palace with your favorite RP Show personalities. First come, first serve. Space is limited. We'll be right back after this brief pause on Game Plus Television, your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, and on the radio, WQEE The King.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
It goes fast. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, is in the house. Ballers Rec Room, your entertainment home. And before more with Smitty, just a sports update on this Wednesday. The Toronto Raptors are back home and looking to extend their win streak to 3 straight tonight as they welcome the San Antonio Spurs. The game will be the Raps' first at Scotiabank Arena since January 22nd. It's one of 9 games in the NBA tonight. The Atlanta Hawks off till Thursday when they host the Phoenix Suns. Meanwhile, Pascal Siakam says he's not paying any attention to rumors ahead of the NBA trade deadline. Talk has swirled that the Raptors could be in the market to send out stars, including Spicy P, in order to collect draft picks, of course, and set up for the future. He says nothing surprises him, but he's not paying attention to trade talk until his phone rings. Does anybody call anybody anymore? Vancouver Canucks are in New York tonight battling the Rangers. Canucks coming off a 5-4 overtime loss to the New Jersey Devils Monday, while the Rangers took a 5-4 overtime victory off the Calgary Flames. There's only one other game tonight in the NHL. It is the Minnesota Wild taking on the Stars in Dallas. The sports update is for Landmark Cinemas in theaters now. Avatar, The Way of Water, set more than a decade after the events of the first film. Avatar, The Way of Water begins to tell the story of the Sully family, the trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, the battles they fight to stay alive, and the tragedies they endure. Coming up here in hour 2, Eddie Lack. But before we delve into the Super Bowl talk, Craig Smith, 2-time Grey Cup champion, Winnipeg guy, the memory of an elephant, mind like a steel trap. And you're pretty happy with your Winnipeg Jets this year.
Very much so.
You didn't see it coming. None of us did.
No, not at all. I mean, when they didn't do anything before the start of the season, I thought, oh, man, how could you go through the... Because I watched a lot of games last year, and I turned half of them off. You know, halfway through, I went, oh, this is horrible. But Bonus, he's come in, the system, the guys have bought in. That's the critical thing. That shows you how much coaching can do in any sport. And he's got their heads on proper. I mean, there has been lapses, let me tell you. The funny thing is with this team, it seems like they can't play a full 60 minutes. If they play a full 60 minutes, I think they can compete with right up there, right to the top. But they always seem to have that one period where they're, geez, what's going on? It reminds me of last year. But, I mean, the guys that they have, you know, the other thing is they've drafted pretty well. You know, some of the guys like Lambert, Chaz Lucius, he just got his shoulder operated on.
The U.S. kid, yeah.
Yeah, the kid that was, you know, on the team. But, you know, I mean, they draft really well, too. But and when you got a goaltender, you played the game. You know the.
You got a chance. It's like quarterbacks.
It's like quarterback.
That's why goalie should be the highest paid player on the team, I think.
Well,
quarterback always is.
Well, without Bucky, a lot of the times it'd be interesting to see. But, I mean, he's been great. The defense has been great. Josh Morrissey, I've always liked that kid. You know, he kind of went for a lull for a bit, and now he's back, and he's looking damn good. And, you know, the top six, it'd be interesting to see what they do at the trade deadline. You know, obviously the talk I've heard was, you know, getting 2 forwards and maybe a defense. Yeah, that's easy to do, isn't it?
Everybody would do it if they could.
But, it's so much fun to watch the games this year.
Yeah, well, here's the difference. It's fascinating to watch the makeup of a team, the culture and so forth, but I just like to watch it. You notice everybody wants to be an armchair general manager. Everybody wants to be an armchair coach.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I got to take my hat off to Kevin Cheveldayoff, the Blaine Lake, Saskatchewan product. He took a lot of heat the last few years.
Yeah.
Turns out he was right. He knows what he was doing.
Yeah.
Breaking news, Kevin Cheveldayoff knows what he's doing.
And
Did you always think that?
Well, I always liked draft. I wanted a few more Canadian kids.
Me too.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
But you know, he has drafted pretty well. He has stocked the team with some talent. There's some guys, you know, that haven't worked out, like Niku and, you know, guys like that. Not sure about Stanley. I like Sandberg. You know, some of these guys that they've got, but. Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
From the cheap seats, from the audience here, Wayne in Victoria, BC says, absolutely great analysis by Smitty. Of course, that's why he's on the team. John in Winnipeg, John Ohm, says, great to see Smitty on the show. Love his knowledge. John says, Winnipeg Jets this Saturday versus the Chicago Bedard Blackhawks. Have you been over to see the kid?
I can't, you know me, I can't give this.
Have you seen him live at all?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you do go to some games.
Not anymore.
Okay.
I don't go anywhere now these days, just with the, you know, the body. But I sure as heck wanted to. You know, I'd love to go. If I was healthy and ready to go, I'd be going to a lot of games. You know, like I went to a few Pats games when I was with the Riders. I mean, we'd go there and watch. Went to a playoff game. Went to see Sam Steele. Loved what he did and all that. But I would love it. But I'm stuck in front of that TV. And
well, that's where we're glad to have you down here today for sure. And Monty, watching in Saskatoon, says Kansas City will win the Super Bowl 34-27. I'll take this opportunity right now to invite you. Clark, can you put the link in the YouTube feed, and you can follow my Twitter to get the link. I'm going to post it right after the show to play the Bet Regal Super Bowl Prop Challenge. It's free to play. Great prizes from Bet Regal, our exclusive betting partner and sportsbook. So to Super Bowl 57, what do you enjoy about this championship? I want to say week, but it's not 1 week, it's 2 weeks. What do you like the best about it?
This particular one?
No, every year in the NFL.
Well, it's just a great couple of weeks. You know, the first week is not much. You know, it's the second week when the players come in and they interview the guys on the Monday, and then you know, the analysis upon analysis, etc. You know, it's just the hype, all that hype. Sometimes the game doesn't turn out very well, but sometimes it will. I think this one's going to be pretty close, pretty darn good. I think it's going to be excellent. They've so much talent on this team, on these teams, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I feel like it's impossible to stay on top of everything. You do a far better job than I do. But did you see this question come out of Media Day Monday? They asked Nick Sirianni, the Eagles coach, if this was a must-win game. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
I just heard that today. How would you answer that if you were the Eagles coach, Nick, or any coach in a championship?
Well, first off, how would you ask that? Like,
we know some dumb media. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's a must-win game. It's the last game of the season. And everybody and their dog in the NFL, all 32 teams, they want to win their last game.
Right.
I mean, it's a bottom line. It's definitely in.
What's the dumbest question you've ever been asked? And was it by me?
No, you know, I wasn't
you didn't get any?
I wasn't high enough to get, you know, a lot of stupid stuff, you know, but most of the time people, you know, talk to me, you know, about personnel and stuff like that. So yeah, I had some pretty good questions. I never really had too many I didn't get that opportunity to, you know, to make the call the shots and stuff like that, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Would you have liked to?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
To be what? The top general manager, the top
yeah.
cheese?
Oh, for sure. I would have loved to have been the GM, for sure. And, but the funny thing is I could have worked towards that, but I love player personnel so much that I never.
That's
really,
what I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
But you can be in personnel and be in the GM. I mean, I'll never forget. Went to Arkansas All-Star game in Little Rock, Arkansas. Sitting in the press box, there's a bunch of NFL people there, and I looked to the bottom. Ted Thompson is there. He's the general manager of Green Bay, and he's in the press box watching player personnel. So as a general manager, you can do that too. I don't care what kind of toilet paper that we have or anything like that in the organization. I want to look at players and stuff like that, and so. Like I said, I love what I did, and I wish I could still do it, but it ain't going to happen, unless I watch film at home and do that for 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing, is I never really pushed it. I stayed with the player personnel because I love being on the road.
Well, you love what you're doing.
Yeah, I love seeing people going to practice. Everything about it I loved.
So to this game, you got two teams that have climbed to the top rung of the ladder. We've mentioned it earlier, 2 14-win teams, 2 number 1 seeds. It's like every year there's something interesting about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying this is the closest matchup ever.
Yeah.
Statistically, it is.
Yeah. And the spreads say that too.
Yeah.
It starts with the 2 quarterbacks. I think, Mahomes has just been incredible. How many? He's been to 3 Super Bowls now, won. And Jalen, he's been in national championship games. I don't think it's going to faze him. I think, he's been there. He's been in the bright lights and done that and played in front of 80, 100,000 or whatever. I mean, it's not going to faze him. So it starts there, and then it goes down. And like we talked before, both lines of scrimmage, I think I picked Philadelphia's going to win. I think Philadelphia's both lines are slightly better. The offensive line of the Eagles, I mean, they are so solid. They have so many good players. Now, Kansas City does too. The weak link, I think, could be the kid that played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, Wiley. And he struggled, but now he's playing better. But he's the weak link. So can Hassan Reddick, beat him on the outside and Graham and stuff like that? I see the defense coming up. But, geez, when you got Mahomes, holy cow, he can throw a ball left-handed, for God's sakes, and beat you, or underhanded, But it's funny, I was looking the other day. Kansas City has 5 guys sub 4.4.
Speed.
Now that's the player personnel talking. You're looking at that stopwatch. Well, guess what? These guys can play football too, and they've got two running backs that are in the 4.3s. They've got 4 receivers that are in the 4.3s. They have a solid offensive line. They got a good. That's the other thing, is the running game for Philadelphia. It's a 3-headed monster. The three guys that can do things for them, that have done it all year. Gainwell has just kind of come out of nowhere, kid from Memphis, and he's done a great job. Boston Scott, and their main guy Sanders. So I mean, there's 3 running backs that they can fly in, and I always think that the running game is critical. When I was on championship teams, the running game was so critical. We had Drummond and Millington. At UBC, we had Mark Nora, Akbal Singh, and then, of course, Corey Sheets. He's a pretty good back, too, so.
Set a record.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm looking as you talk at the BetRegal website, betregal.net, our exclusive betting partner. They have the Eagles favored at 1.5. It's like, how do you bet on that? It's a 1-point game. I wonder if it'll be that narrow. And by the way, here's the fun ones. Here are the odds for the Gatorade flavor at the end of the game when they douse the coach. Lime and blue are the leading 2 colors. And you folks tell me, I think blue was the last 2 Super Bowls. The Gatorade was blue.
Yeah.
And then by odds, 3 of the last 4, Clark tells me, was blue. Do you want to put some change on it? Orange, plus 300. Red/pink, plus 1,200. Clear, or it could be water, plus 1,800. So those are the fun things about Super Bowl. This is the biggest sports betting week of the year. It's just so much fun, man. Have you been to a Super Bowl?
No.
We gotta go. I went last year for the first time to LA, as you know. This year, kind of wishing I was in Arizona, but had fun at the NHL All-Star game, too. So we have less than a minute. You're saying Eagles?
Yes.
You're confident?
Yep.
Good for you.
Yep.
The man knows his football. Throw some change down. Smitty, thanks for coming down. We're out of time already. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it goes quick. That's
Yes,
for
it
sure.
does. Thanks for this, man.
Thanks for having
Enjoy
me.
the ball.
Hello to Canada and the United States. I've driven by most of you.
Yeah, there you go. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith. He has seen America and Canada from ear to ear. Smiling from ear to ear is our next guest always, Eddie Lack, going to join us from Arizona on Game Plus, your favorite podcast platform, YouTube Live, and WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah, we're live on Game Plus TV, WQEE, live streaming on YouTube. We're switching gears, talking NHL now. Clear the track. Here comes Lack, the great Eddie Lack, 143 games in goal with the Vancouver Canucks, Carolina Hurricanes, Calgary Flames, and New Jersey Devils. Winnipeg's awake. They've already said, don't forget Manitoba Moose. Eddie played for the Moose, 53 games in 2010-11. Eddie, welcome back, man. How you doing? It's been too long.
Good. Good. How are you? I'm actually getting ready to get into the Waste Management Open here. So yeah, just a nice, beautiful day in Scottsdale.
The usual. Another crappy day in Scottsdale, it sounds like. What's the week like, Eddie, with Waste Management Open and Super Bowl? Is it as crazy as I would imagine it is?
Yeah, it's like no, it's busy. I have a lot of clients in town, so I'm gonna go today, and then we have a box on Friday on the most famous hole in golf, and yeah, just looking forward to it.
Well, hey, I would hope that your fans know, and our audience, that you are selling sunshine there in Arizona. How's the luxury real estate game going for you in the Valley of the Sun? How are things that way?
Great. Yeah, like we, fortunately, we haven't been that affected by the higher interest rates and everything like that. Like the luxury stuff is still moving. So yeah, it's been good. We keep selling and keep building more houses. So yeah, it's fun.
Good for you. Well, you were made for it, man. I'm glad to hear that it's going so well. Listen, as soon as I heard you were coming on, I needed your take on Jacob Markstrom, your boy. Your thoughts on what's going on in Crease with the Calgary Flames and your guy, Jacob.
I know it's definitely a struggle for him right now, and looking at it and stuff, I thought for sure that he'd be out of it by now, but yeah, he's such a good goalie. I have a hard time seeing that it's gonna keep going for a while, you know. So I'm really hoping that he gets out of it, because the Flames team is only gonna go as far as he will take him, you know.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you guys are close friends, right? Would you not agree when he's at the top of his game, he's like top 3 NHL goaltenders? That's what I think. That's what he is.
I agree. Like, especially the last, I don't know, 5-7 years here, like he's been phenomenal, I feel like. So it's tough to see, but I also feel like all of the top guys go through stretches like this at times, you know. So I just hope that they just keep throwing him in there, because he's way too good to not figure it out eventually, I think.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They keep giving him the chance and showing that they believe in him. Hey, just a hockey talk. You're sitting there in Arizona. Have you been to the new arena, or the Mullet Arena, the 5,000-seat rink where the Coyotes play? Have you been there yet?
Yeah. So are you a hater or are you a supporter of the arena, before I get any further in this conversation?
I want the Coyotes to stay in Arizona, and I want them to be successful. I'm for whatever works, Eddie. So, yeah, I'm okay with it that they're playing there right now. Where are you on it?
Yeah. I like it too. I mean, obviously from a selfish standpoint, I would like for the town that I live in to still have an NHL team, right? But I've been to 3 or 4 NHL games, and it's been fun this year. Like, obviously, all the seats in the house are good, and I think when you look at it from like the NHL standpoint, it's obviously not ideal, but if it's just short term, I don't really see the issue with it. And I know they have a vote coming up here. I don't know. I think it's like a couple of weeks from now, where the citizen of Tempe, the residents, are gonna vote. And if the vote is good, I think the new rink is moving forward and everything. And if not, the team is probably moving somewhere else.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But from the players I've talked to and broadcasters, they say it's fun in there. They said it's like a junior atmosphere, and they're enjoying it. And, yeah, you know, I like to hear that. But from something that's not so fun, what is your take on the Vancouver Canucks, brother? Whoa. with the season they've had.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what happens when you like have success for a long time that they had. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they didn't win a cup, but like they were a very good team for a very long time with the Sedins and everything there, right? So you are going to have to go through a rebuild when you come out of something like that. I mean, just look at the Chicago Blackhawks. Like they're going through it now. Like the Red Wings went through it. New Jersey is like just on like the other side of it now, but they did it correctly. I feel like Vancouver just tried to do it on the fly and like still have like a semi-competitive team for all these years instead of taking a few years and like be bad. They try to do it half-assed and that's showing now. And I think like now they're kind of at the point where yeah, we should have done this 10 years ago, but since we didn't, we're gonna have to do it now instead.
Yeah, wonderful analysis, man. Well, I appreciate the chance to chat hockey with you, one. Number two, I'm glad things are going so well, man. I knew they would. You're always going to be successful. And three, your English is outstanding, man. You're killing it. It's coming a long way.
For a little bit here and there, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good, man. So, hey, enjoy the golf, enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, Eddie.
Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
One of the all-time great guys right there, man. Eddie Lack, 143 NHL veteran goaltender with the Canucks, Hurricanes, Flames, and Devils. And he just says it the way that it is. You don't get better analysis than that. We'll be right back with our NHL Top 5, Bottom 5, a sports update, and viewer takeover in overtime. It is the RP Show. We are live on Game Plus Television, your favorite podcast platform. We're streaming on YouTube. And, of course, on the radio, WQEE, The Key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Resort and Casino.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
This is the studio. It is Ballers Rec Room. Moose ain't here. He's doing business somewhere else. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, has bid adieu. It's just me and you. And you notice that I have the Bet Regal robe on. Yes, it has made the trip from Florida to the Great White North. It's that time of week to do our NHL Top 5 for our exclusive betting partner in Sportsbook, Bet Regal. NHL Top 5 teams as chosen by yours truly. Let's go, Clark. Are you ready? Number 1, it's obviously the Boston Bruins. They're great, and they're getting better, and by far the NHL's fewest goals against at, if you can believe, 111. 111 goals against for the Boston Bruins. Number 2, the Carolina Hurricanes comfortably in number 2. And the winners of 7 in a row. Watch out for the Carolina Hurricanes. Hashtag take warning. Number 3 team in the NHL is the New Jersey Devils. Still hot. Winners of 8 of their last 10. The number 4 team in the National Hockey League this week, the Dallas Stars. Quietly getting it together. Watch out for Dallas. And the number 5 team, are you ready, Clark? Are you ready with a sound effect? The Edmonton Oilers.
How about
you see
that?
They're on a roll. Evander Kane is back. Scored an empty netter in the big win in Detroit last night. Look out. Those are the top 5 teams in the NHL. For the bottom 5 teams in the NHL, here we go. Don't get offended. Number 28, the Vancouver Canucks. They can't win for losing. Number 29, the San Jose Sharks. Not a whole lot to look forward to for that franchise. Number 30, the Anaheim Ducks. Can somebody tell them to stop trying? They won last night in Chicago, which incidentally, number 31, the Chicago Blackhawks. Losers of 2 in a row. All eyes are on Taves and Kane. Let's get it done. And number 32, everybody knows this, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Bad. B-A-D. Agree or disagree, our NHL Top 5? Our Top 5 and Bottom 5 brought to you by our exclusive betting partner at Bet Regal. Sign up today and get playing. And as a matter of fact, we invite you to play the Prop Challenge for Super Bowl 57. Right now, it's free to play. Sign up, get your free account, and let's go. Okay. I'm disrobing, as they say. I was just waiting for the people at Delta Airlines to go through my gear at the airport. This guy's got a robe in his suitcase. I'm sure they've seen far weirder. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here in the studio at Ballers Rec Room. What do we got here? From BW, regarding Super Bowl prop bets, he said, what are the odds that Kevin Hart makes it onto the Super Bowl presentation platform? He made it onto the field the last time the Eagles won. As I recall, Kevin Hart got onto the platform and got promptly kicked off. Did he not, the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl? Gary in British Columbia says the Carolina Hurricanes are a fun team to watch. I'll have to take your word for that. I don't get a lot of Carolina Hurricane games on television where I reside, but I will say this. Being back in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, where we are right now, the sweatpants capital, I'm very much enjoying on our television, on cable, Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers. Right here in the rectangle, that's why we call it the Bermuda Triangle. We're in the TV regions of three teams, the Jets, the Oilers, and the Flames. And to be honest, I don't understand. There's a lot of things. I got a lot of catching up to do. Covering the National Hockey League, being in NHL circles, with the ratings being down and spending as much time in America, you understand that as Canadians, we're like, what? That's all we do is watch hockey. So it doesn't really compute. I appreciate Ryan O'Radio checking in from Noonan, Georgia. He says, another great RP show. Thank you, Ryan. It's been a blur, by the way. Just a blur of guests in and out. Wonderful job by producer Clark lining them all up here today. Really is. And all on time. I appreciate Craig Smith, our director of scouting, in and out. You notice he's had some health issues. It has obviously affected his pro football career. But he's doing as much as he can. And the Silver Fox, Kelly Remple. 902-518-3033, the number to reach us right here with whatever you would like to talk about. Sports on tap tonight for the Tap Sports Bar and drive-through liquor store, believe it or not. Yeah, they have a drive-through liquor store. NHL tonight. The Vancouver Canucks are at the New York Rangers, and the Minnesota Wild are at the Dallas Stars. Tonight might be a good night to go to a movie. What do you say, Clark? There's a few playing right now. A Man Called Otto at Landmark Cinemas. Avatar.
Sold.
The Way of Water. Sold. Let's do it. Western Hockey League tonight. I've appreciated the invite, but I will not be partaking. The Edmonton Oil Kings are at the Moose Jaw Warriors. I'm busy. But very much looking forward to Saturday night in the Brandt Center, watching Connor Bedard and God's team take on those Moose Jaw Warriors. 7 p.m. in the Brandt Center. I'm sure it'll be sold out. And there's one other game in the Western Hockey League tonight. It is the Calgary Hitmen at the Winnipeg Ice in the Wayne Fleming Arena in Winnipeg. There are a lot of Jets fans in this town. I'm trying to communicate this to our audience, whether it be listening on the radio in America, watching on television all across Canada. Football is very big here. There's no doubt, the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but hockey is equally as big. It's like 50-50. And there's a lot of people that are in mourning, not mourning, but really missing the Winnipeg Jets. What did a guy say to me yesterday? We don't play until the 11th. Is that right? That can't be right. There's been a break of over a week for the Winnipeg Jets. Certainly not playing tonight because we went through the schedule. Not till the 11th? That can't be right. Not playing on the 9th. What would we do without the Score app, right? They were right. The Winnipeg Jets are not playing until February 11th. And who have they got? The Chicago Blackhawks. Do the Blackhawks leave Jonathan Taves in the dressing room when they're done? That's the question. Wayne in Victoria, BC. Says, absolutely a great show again, Rod. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Wayne in Victoria, BC. We have covered a lot of ground today. And I'll say it one minute. Listen, you got me for about another 2.5 minutes. And then we're out. 90 minutes. 90 seconds, Clark's telling me right now. Trevor in Winnipeg. He's been with us all show. Trevor, glad to have you. By the way, Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up at 1 o'clock Central right after we're done on YouTube Live. Trevor says, and it's a 9 p.m. start. What's February 11th? Is that Saturday? You understand, when you work one day at a time, you don't really, 9 p.m. They kind of favored these 9 p.m. starts last year in Winnipeg, right? I remember talking to Hustler about it. He's like, it's like a UFC event, waiting all night for the 9 o'clock start. And I'm like, yeah, but the UFC fight's over in 10, 15 minutes usually. This goes all night. But hey, Winnipeg Jets fans are very similar to Roughriders fans, Dolphins fans, the places where I live, Flames fans. You could drop the puck, kick the ball off at midnight on a Tuesday. They'll be watching. Randy from Winnipeg. Every team got 10 days off in the NHL. Just depends where you put those 10 days. And Trevor says it'll be a rowdy crowd. Yep, they got all day to get liquored up in Winnipeg for Chicago in town on Saturday. Thanks to Jim Lang, Eddie Lack, Craig Smith, Kelly Remple, our whole crew. Nice work, Clark. We'll see you all tomorrow. Sign up and play that Bet Regal Super Bowl prop challenge, everybody, between now and then. We'll talk about it tomorrow and everything else, and we'll see if the Four Seasons for Super Bowl Sunday.
Who has more fun than us?